We're talking about Bambi today. Buckle up. So this feels more like a joke than anything, but honestly, I think Sawsbuck might have more potential than I initially gave it credit for going into Scarlet and Violet. Welcome back, YouTube. Espresso Shucko here, and today we are going to look at Generation 5's Deer Sawsbuck. So, why? Why? Well, for one thing, Sawsbuck gets access to Sword Stance, it gets access to Bullet Seed, it's got a base 100 attack stat that can abuse Sword Stance, it can hold the loaded dice, so right there we're getting a minimum of 4 out of 5 hits on Bullet Seed, so we're already looking at base 100 grass type damage. And we still have a fairly solid chance of hitting all 5 hits on Bullet Seed, so we could be potentially looking at anywhere between 100 to 125 base power off that Bullet Seed before applying Stab. We could take it one step further if we really wanted to and go Terra Grass to double Bullet Seed's power, so we'd be at a minimum of 200 after Stab is applied, so we have the potential to put some holes in a lot of walls. So, where are we going with this with Sawsbuck? Well, for one thing, I was thinking we'd go Sword Stance to take advantage of the fact that we can get a quick +2. We have a base 100 attack, which really likes the Sword Stance right there. We have a means of manually setting up Substitute if we wanted to with Sawsbuck, or we could rely on Shedtail to pass on a Substitute from either Orform or Cyclizar. And then let's get into the abilities before we get into the stats. We have access to Chlorophyll, so we can double our speed once Sun is on the field. We have Sap Sipper that gives us an immunity to grass-type moves while also boosting our attack one stage. If we're playing against a Mungus, Brute Bonnet, Breloom, you can get a +1 attack if you switch incorrectly on a Spore. And then Serene Grace, it basically increases the secondary effects of moves by 2 times, so basically it doubles those odds. So for example, Body Slam there, normally a 30% chance to cause paralysis, you can go up to a 60% chance, which could be really nice for slowing down your opponent. But the main idea that I was thinking with this Sawsbuck is we go for Bullet Seed damage. As far as our stats go, we have base 80, we have base 100 attack like I mentioned, we have 70 in each defense, 60 special attack, we don't care about that. And finally, we have 95 speed, which is amazing because with a Jolly Nature and max speed investment, we hit 161 points. Once the Sun is on the field, that means we are faster than both Iron Bundle and Fluttermane if they have a +1 speed boost from their ability, which is really, really critical to know because Bullet Seed here just ruins both of their days. Fluttermane has terrible physical defense and Iron Bundle is part water type, so right there. With the loaded dice, you should easily be able to just delete those things off of the field. They can be really strong mons for your opponent or anyone really if you're using one or if you're going up against one. So just to be able to remove those off of the field is wonderful. On top of that, if they're holding a Focus Sash, Bullet Seed's a multi-striking move. Bullet Seed don't care about the Focus Sash. You can just delete them right then and there. Now, you do have to be careful against the Ruin Mons, especially Chi-Yu, but you can get around that with a couple of different things. Like I said, we can go with the Substitute. Either we manually set it, or we have one passed on to us. We get behind that. We set up our Sword Stance. So long as we have Sun on the field, we're outspeeding every single one of them. Wo-Chien can't Leech Seed us if we're still Grass type or if we Terra into a Grass type. So Leech Seed does nothing to us. We would have to watch out for Pollen Puff, but it wouldn't be able to do anything to us. Qin Pao, it's glassy. It doesn't appreciate the Bullet Seeds. You might be able to take it out depending on how high your attack stat is. Chi-Yu, physical defense, not the greatest. HP, not the greatest. Body Slam, that would hurt. You could run a different move. I'm just running Body Slam because it takes advantage of the fact that we have normal type stab as well, but you could use other moves. You could switch out Body Slam with Stomping Tantrum if you really wanted to. There's some ground type moves right there. If your last move fails, you get double power. What if, just hear me out, what if you go Substitute while you have a Substitute? Move fails, there you go. Stomping Tantrum, power is going to double to 150 from 75. You could do that. This thing gets Play Rough as well. Solid Fairy type damage, you could hit that. So yeah, that's kind of what I was mainly thinking about for a physical Sawsbuck. You could also run Double Edge if you really wanted to, or you could run Facade if you do get burned, because that would be something that would shut down this idea, but I digress. You could do that. Instead of Substitute, you could also go for Protect. Like maybe instead of going Substitute, you go Protect, put a different damaging move, like maybe say you put Play Rough on here. Then you could use like Follow Me support, Rage Powder support. You could do that to ensure that you still get your Sword Stance. Because you're holding loaded dice, you can't hold a Focus Sash, obviously, so you would have to be a little bit more precarious with that. On that note, too, I'm pretty sure you can run Endure. Yeah, you could run Endure if you really want to, if you were that scared of losing your Sawsbuck. Maybe you run out of Sun, and you're playing a closed team sheet format. You go for the Endure and reset your Sun, and there you go. You get another turn to just sweep with Sawsbuck a little bit. As far as a support set goes for Sawsbuck, you get access to Charm and Light Screen. You get access to a fast Thunder Wave. Now, keep in mind with the combination of these three moves, you're probably not going to want to run all three at the same time. You're probably going to want to use a combination, like maybe you run Light Screen and Charm. You take out Thunder Wave for something else. Because what I was thinking here is special damage gets halved when you have Light Screen. Unfortunately, you don't get Reflect. At least I don't think you get Reflect. We'll double check this very quick. Yeah. You don't get Reflect, but you do get access to Light Screen. So you could use Charm to cut your opponent's attack 2 stages if you really wanted to. You could go for Light Screen. This thing gets Fake Tears as well, so maybe you just want Sawsbuck to just quickly lower something's special defense so that your partner on the field could do some damage. Maybe you're running Torkoal next to Sawsbuck. You go for the Fake Tears because Chlorophyll activates your Sun. You cut their special defense in half by dropping it 2 stages. Torkoal goes for either an Eruption if everything magically plays out that you can safely Eruption, or you just go Heat Wave and get big damage that way. You also get Helping Hand, so maybe you have Sun on the field already, maybe Torkoal went down, maybe you have a Great Tusk next to Torkoal, or not Torkoal, Sawsbuck. You go for Helping Hand, you get the 50% boost into whatever you want to do with Great Tusk. Maybe you're going for a Headlong Rush, maybe you're going for a Close Combat, an Ice Spinner, something that's going to deal big damage. You go for that Helping Hand just to further push it over the limit to pick up a KO. Maybe it's something that you're going to do 75% chance to, or you're going to do 75% to. You go for the Helping Hand just to push it over there to ensure the KO. You could do that. Let's see, what else did we get for as far as status goes? We do get Synthesis, which you could potentially heal yourself with, but probably not the best because you're not the bulkiest. Like I mentioned, you could go Thunder Wave to quickly slow down your opponents right there. You get Wild Charge for an extra damage coverage there. Maybe you want to hit flying types with it. You could go Bulldoze, because what I was thinking here is if you have the Chlorophyll up, maybe you have a flying type or a levitating one on the field, you can go for Bulldoze, lower the speed of the field. Maybe you even want to self-proc a weakness policy with Bulldoze. You could do that too. Let's see. Sand Attack. Sand Attack feels dirty, because not just because you're throwing dirt in someone's face, but because you're lowering their accuracy, but that's there if you really needed it. You have Worry Seed. Worry Seed could actually be really handy because you can just remove your opponent's ability and change it to Insomnia. Maybe they have something that just makes them really difficult to get around. Maybe you want to remove Defiant off of Annihilate. You give it Insomnia, and now it's basically a Vital Spirit Annihilate. You can lower its stats if you really wanted to without having to worry about the attack getting raised. Could be some food for thought, but out of the two ideas, I was mainly thinking the offensive Sawsbuck. But yeah, that's my main thoughts on offensive Sawsbuck and some support role options if you wanted to do that with Sawsbuck. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Bambi here. And yeah, let's get the conversation going.